Hi, so I wanted to start this channel to document the video game that I'm developing called Arcane Fortress, which at the moment is a text-based game, although I might add graphics at some point in the future. The premise of the game is to be, in a sense, a combination of the game Civilization and SimCity. And I am also inspired by the game Dwarf Fortress, although it's not really the game for me. I do like that it has so much detail, and I would like to mimic some of that, just in a different genre, to allow the economy of your growing civilization to become very complex and interdependent on both your own resources and those of others, and also just dynamics, socioeconomic, political movements, and so on. I would just like to keep adding and adding details to the game to increase its realism, to make a truly immersive experience of managing and running an empire. So let me show you what I have so far on the game. So this is about the work of maybe 3 to 4 full-time days that I've spread over a few weeks, although I'll probably start working on this in more depth in the coming months. So anyhow, what you see here is just a preview of some of the map that I have generated, with the green being land and blue being water. I just don't have much with the game so far, aside from just the basic map generation and some zooming that you can see. I often test algorithms and develop them in Python and then re-implement them in C, which is what I'm showing you here, the C implementation. But I'll show you just the same visualization in Python that I've loaded from a temporary file that I've saved. So this should be the same map that you see. Zoom out. Yeah, you can see, in a sense, the elongated portions there. And I'll talk a little bit now on the map generation that I'm presently using. So this is the relief map that this map is generated from, and it's just a thresholding of this map. The generation of this map in itself is based on something like a fractal algorithm. So I start at a random location when I first generate the map and put down a random number from a normal distribution. The second step is to now add the neighbors within 10 radius of the initial randomly selected point. And then I go through that list and generate their values too, which will be simply another random number from a normal distribution, and then the mean of the already generated values around in the same 10 radius again. And then I add all of its neighbors to the stack and generate them next. So the stack grows, and then I take things off the stack and generate values. And the point of all this is so that values that are spatially nearby will tend to have values that are similar to each other in the same way that you see on the Earth. And then as a last step in this algorithm, I smooth the map just using a spatially averaged kernel that I run across the map. One additional point I wanted to mention today is just So, an interesting algorithm that I found online for generating a random list of numbers. So let's say you have, you basically want to generate a random shuffling of these. So in Python you could just do this, generate the ordered list, and then shuffle it, and you don't really have to think about it. But of course in C, you have to think about how exactly it's computing this output. So one approach I found online, basically after trying an approach I just came up with that was extremely slow for large list sizes, is to generate the list in a stepwise process of starting with an ordered list like this. So that's seek here, and then stepping through the values that you're trying to generate. And first off, when you're at step 0, you just choose one of these numbers randomly. So generate an index into this vector, and then that's your value. Let's say we came up with 6, and that's what we'd put down for the first value. Now what we can do is we can replace 9 with 6. We can pop the last element off and replace it with the element that we just used. And the next step would be go from 0 to 8 and generate a random integer in that range and use that as an index for our next value. And in this way you would step through it, you would replace the value you just chose with the next last, and then go on, and then now generate a random number from 0 to 7. It turns out to be a pretty fast approach, but anyways, that's all I really wanted to share today. I hope to update this channel somewhat regularly as I make progress on the game, and I'll have more to talk about in the future. So stay tuned, and if you have any comments or suggestions, definitely let me know. Thank you.